And with me is Peter Urmson, who's the CEO of Spotzer. Hi, Peter.
Hi, how are you?
Great, thank you. And we're talking today about how Spotzer have transformed customer experience and service efficiency on a global basis. My name's Paul Turner. I'm one of the strategic account managers with Vonage. And if you haven't heard of Vonage, you may well have heard of New Voice Media. New Voice Media is a telephony integration partner for CRM such as Salesforce globally, and I work in Europe. Please ask questions of Peter as we go using the Q&A facility that you have. We'll both see that, and I hope we get some. I'll be asking those on your behalf to Peter. And let's get going. So, Peter, you're Australian. I know you've come from Sydney. We were talking, we've known each other for a while. And the first thing I want to know before we really get into it is, what are you doing as a CEO of a business headquartered in Amsterdam?
Yeah, great question. Paul, it's interesting to see the bookcase behind you. I see that your office has changed a little bit since we last talked.
I'm a big reader, Peter. This is so. Here we have I read that yesterday. It's the Encyclopedia Britannica. I just got fed up with all these people on Zoom calls going, haven't I got an impressive bookcase? So yeah, I've got one too.
Amazing what you can get on Amazon.
Yeah.
So I'm actually English. I'm actually British. I have a British passport and an Australian passport. So I'm an Englishman. I lived in Australia for 26 years in Sydney. And worked with Census, which is the big search directory business there, and a bunch of other businesses as well. Fairfax Media, where I was CEO of online marketing group, and ended up over here in Amsterdam with Spotzer. I got to meet Andy, the founder of the business, and we kind of got on well, and the board invited me over to run the business globally.
So you were running Spotzer down under first?
I got Spotzer going in Australia. I got our APAC office moving in Melbourne. I did that for about 6 months. And then, we had some success, and the board asked me to move over here and to get the business moving globally, working in setting up a new team. And a bit of a new direction, and that's what I did probably about 4 or 5 years ago.
And we first met, I think it was probably 2 years ago or 3. I don't know, time flies. So we've known each other a while. I learned about Spotzer when we met, but I hadn't heard of Spotzer before. So tell the audience, what does Spotzer do? Why is it good at what it does? What does it bring to businesses? I mean, what kind of businesses does it work for? What do you work for? So tell us about Spotzer.
Yeah, sure. So with my background working with small to medium businesses, but running enterprise-sized businesses, but the key audience, our customer, were SMBs. And being at the coalface and working my way up, at an executive level, I knew the importance of meeting the needs from a customer service perspective and offering the right product solution to small and medium businesses. That was kind of ingrained in me, which I got from that experience. I came across Spotzer through an RFP. I was conducting an RFP process to find a partner, a business that we would partner with rather than build it all ourselves. I knew that somebody already had everything there already built. So I needed to find somebody who we could work with. Through the RFP process, I came across Spotzer, and obviously a big fan, engaged Spotzer, and then eventually ended up running the business in the Australian market. The core of what really interested me, which is why Spotzer got the RFP, was I saw that the backbone of the business had been built using Salesforce, and that really stood out, a really solid, secure system. And that was kind of the core of the business. I saw then that there was an opportunity to grow the services off that as the core piece to the business. And when I moved over to Europe, we kind of really accelerated the growth of the business, and took it in a slightly different direction to where it was. And, fortunately that's been successful. But the core of what we do is we work with, and it's kind of trying to solve the problems that I needed to be solved when I was running an enterprise-sized business. So the core of what we do is we work with enterprise-sized businesses in telcos, search and directory businesses, media organisations, platforms, hosting companies around the world. We partner with them and we offer a full white label solution where we work with that partner and we represent their brand. We work with them to launch our products and services to their customer base, and help them with offering websites, e-commerce, Google campaigns, Facebook campaigns, search marketing campaigns, business listing campaigns. So we offer that full digital marketing solution to an SMB customer, but we work with an enterprise-sized business. So we typically work with the number 1 or number 2 brand in a category, in a geography, and then we offer our services to their customers. And that's kind of essentially what we do. We build websites and PPC campaigns and SEO campaigns on scale. We do several thousand a month, and across about 14, 16 different languages. We're in the US, we're very strong across all of Europe, the UK, Australia and New Zealand. They're our key markets. So we try to offer an almost around the sun, around the day solution and service. But core to what we do is talking to customers about their business. We understand their business, then we can build a website or an e-commerce solution or a PPC campaign, and then we launch that product and service, and then we look after the customer in an ongoing solution.
So thank you for that. So I got loads of questions now, and I'm looking at the Q&A too. So this is B2B2B, isn't it? This is your B, the business, to a business who are selling to businesses that are SMBs. So your customers are enterprises. I know the names of some of them. I don't know if you're able to share them because you've obviously said you're white labeling, or they're white labeling your service. So,
yeah, no, there's many that are in the public domain through press releases. So we work with Telstra, the major telco in Australia, Orange in France, Italia Online in Italy, Ionis across Europe, and many more. Vivial, Berry in the US, and yeah, many more.
So these are, from the sound of it, a lot of them are telcos. So these are organisations.
Telcos and search and directory businesses. Yeah.
So they're businesses that are offering a kind of service in a box to their customers who are SMBs, who kind of come along and say, okay, as well as the mainstream business that they offer, a phone line, maybe in the case of Orange, I would like your website design service. I would like some SEO done. And that company is saying, yes, we do that. But then that business comes to you. So then your team are then engaging through that chain to that end customer saying, I work for Italia Online, and they're speaking Italian, right? So are those staff who speak Italian calling businesses in Italy, are they based in Italy? Where do they sit?
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Telstra's a great one to talk to, and Orange as well. So we have all native speaking people. So if we're talking to a French customer, we obviously have French client managers who talk to French customers. And a typical use case would be, so we try to set the partner up for success, that they focus on sales and marketing, and we help them with that as well, so that they can go and sell the product. And we work hand in glove. We have very solid partnerships. We think that we do. I mean, and we have great partners. But so a use case would be that, the partner would sell the product. That then comes through to us. We call and we talk to the customer. Hey, Mr. Customer, I'm calling you from, whatever the brand is. And great that you've bought the website, you bought your PPC, your Google campaign. Let's talk about your business. And then we talk about the business, and then we write the brief, and then we build the website or the e-com shop or whatever it is. Yeah. And so if we're talking to Italian customers, we have Italians that will talk, a great Italian team, that talks to Italian customers, French, German, Dutch, Flemish, English, American, Australian, New Zealand, all of the different languages that we operate within.
And yet those staff are all based in Amsterdam and Melbourne, or you have centres elsewhere too?
So we've got a team, head office is here in Amsterdam, and we've got a great team of people here, team in Melbourne, who've been suffering lockdown, but that's now finally come out of lockdown, and a great team in Manila, and a small team in Sofia, and then we have resource centres as well that we operate with.
Okay, so you mentioned the phone, and people need to be calling up, and I guess the end businesses, they're SMBs, so a lot of them, I don't know whether it's fair to describe them as digital natives, or I need a website help. I haven't got a clue. And I'd be interested to hear whether Instagram and things like that are services you offer too. But before we go there, I know that you've got an objective right now and a process around valuing every customer. And I know that NPS, or Net Promoter Score, which I'm looking forward to you explaining about that, because NPS for an Apple device, consumers loving an awesome product is one thing, but NPS around valuing a complex service, and I've implemented NPS before. I think it's really challenging when people don't truly understand how tough the measure is, and you need people going 9 or 10, and I don't know what Dutch people do, but I know Brits are going to go, no, you don't get, I never give 9s. I'll give you an 8 if I'm really happy, and that's bad luck, right? An 8 is neutral. So tell us about the value every customer objective and how you're using NPS.
Yeah, sure. I lived through the days in Australia where one of the large telco, Telstra, had a really bad level of service. And I was really inspired by the then CEO of Telstra, David Thodey, who was literally accredited as being the customer service CEO. And he really focused on exactly that, around valuing every customer. And they turned around that organisation and continue to do that and offer a great level of service. So that's kind of what really inspired me with it. We have it as a value. We have 4 core values within the business. The number one value is we value every customer, and my teams know it. It's ingrained into the business. It's part of the culture of our organisation now. It's not just posters on walls. It's embedded into everything that we talk about. Has a reference to valuing every customer. What we know is that what we do is really important for the end customer. If their website's not working properly for them, or it's not ranking, and the customer might not even know, it could have a serious detrimental effect to their business. So we understand that, and we see that that's really an important part of what we do. So driving value to every customer, it doesn't matter how much they spend, is critically important. And typically the customer that spends the least, can be the most demanding, but also, they don't have a lot of money. So they're looking to us as the experts, to advise them and to execute the campaign or the website in the right way. The brands that we work with are premium brands. These businesses have invested tens, if not hundreds of millions into campaigns over the years in establishing their brands as a trusted brand. And particularly in these current times, what we know is that typically in difficult times, people will revert to and go to a brand that they know and they can trust, because they know it's going to be around forever, because it's already been around for a while. So we understand that, carrying the brand and the brands that we represent, we need to be giving great advice, offer a great level of service, not only just when we're talking to a customer right then, but in an ongoing capacity. And that's really driven into the organisation, into our organisation. And what we do for a lot of our partners is core to the offer. Hanging off a website is all the other products and services that they might have. So it's really critically important that what we do, is really best in class and a best focus. So we set ourselves targets for NPS with different partners, and the majority of our partners have an NPS above 40 points. We even have one partner in Germany now at over 80 points. And they can be unforgiving. It can be an unforgiving category with small, medium businesses. But we really think, what we know we're in a good direction. We know we've also got a lot of work to do. We continue to double down on that, and it's a big focus for, obviously for me, but also for everybody within the business.
So I will come back and ask about the boom in e-commerce and coronavirus and the impact of that too, because I'm guessing that for you as a business, your customers and their customers, the further move to online drives the need for better search, better website, e-commerce too. But I just want to ask another question on NPS. So the NPS is not how you are measuring your performance to your own customers, but are you asking their customers to give a score, and then are you contracting that NPS score? I mean, in terms of your differentiation in the market, is that one of the things that you come to a new customer with and say, our customers rate the websites that they believe are being provided by Italia Online? That's why we're good, and that's so is that where you compete?
Absolutely. And we encourage and drive with a lot of our partners that they survey their customers, which are our customers, the end customer, to get that rating. But we measure ourselves with our partners, and most of our partners, bear in mind our partners are enterprise sized businesses. We have about 45, 50 partners around the world. We do survey them every quarter to get their feedback around how we can improve, but also to give us an NPS rating. So we have a partner NPS, which is really important for us, so we can learn. But also, with the end customer, with SMBs, of which we, as I said, we publish thousands of websites every month and different campaigns. It's important to get that real-time NPS score. But we either do the score rating on behalf of the partner, or we ask the partner, or the partner might want to do the rating themselves, and they give us the feedback. It's a really important measurement for us, because we know that if you've got a great NPS result, you're going to get a great customer experience. Happy customers are more likely to stay with you, so it reduces churn, and they're more likely to buy other products and services from you as well.
And thank you. And I suppose it B2B to B to C, the last B in that chain could survey its actual, the final customer, and you could feed all that back. But anyway, maybe enough about that. We have 10 minutes left.
Okay.
And just in the next few minutes, you've talked about telephony. You've just said, you know, your team are based in central locations, calling many countries in the world. And I guess they're on the phone going, I think in my naive example, when we met and I was understanding the business, it's fundamentally, how do you want your website to look? Or how do you want your campaign to run? And so on. So I guess telephony is important to you. So tell me a little bit about the telephony and the technology in general, and especially now, people are, I guess, working from home.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, I mean, core to what we've, you know, we've invested millions into our tech stack, so our technology solution, and the core of the backbone of that is Salesforce, and we integrate lots of the platforms that we operate the business on within Salesforce. It was important for us to you know, as I mentioned, you know, we work with, you know, premium brands. We need to represent their brand, you know, in a really great way. So that means we need to have really great call quality. And it comes down to the basic things around, you know, we need to have people who are speaking in the right way, talking to the customer in the right tone of voice, but you've got to have a great system that you can be talking through. We're across all of Europe, the US, you know, different parts of Australia, different parts of the world. So we wanted to set up almost like a virtual contact center using one solution that also integrated really neatly into Salesforce so that we can capture all of the information. We have voice recordings, all the voice logs that we need, and a really good solid line. And that might sound, you know, basic and fundamental, you know, well, of course that you would have that. But initially we didn't have that. And we moved to that. I think that actually, Paul, we met about 3 years ago. Okay. You know, we moved to what then was New Voice Media, now Vonage. You know, that was a no-brainer for us, particularly because it really integrated really tight into Salesforce. And the system that we had got at the time before we met, we thought that we'd taken a system that could do that, and we were told that it could do that, but it didn't. So, you know, we wanted to run with something that was quality and secure, and that's in line with all of the platforms that we work with, so that we can offer that quality service that our brands are used to having, you know, and pay for. So having a really good telephony system, you know, it's core to what we do. You know, we talk to customers and then we design and build websites. They're the core things of what we do. So we've got to get that right.
Yeah. And so you've got teams in centers around the world, as you said, Melbourne, Manila, Amsterdam, the US. Okay. And from there, let's take Europe because it's easy and this is a European conference. So staff there are calling out to many different countries. Presumably when they call Italy, it's an Italian number that they're using, so that customers kind of pick up rather than seeing a Dutch number. But the thing for me, coronavirus has been, you know, with us since March. What was the impact? I mean, I guess the impact, I'm just thinking aloud, but I guess for a while everyone was hugely impacted, but you know, your staff would have had to have gone home. They still need to call. How did that work?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it was March the 8th. We called everybody in. We said, okay, our lives are about to change. You know, we went out with that, you know, we put the health and well-being of everybody that works for us first, you know, and then preserving livelihoods and jobs thereafter, which we've done. And we've stuck to that message and we've stuck to that program. But we pretty much moved everybody to work from home, you know, from the middle of March. through till now. And our business has changed as everybody's businesses have changed, and we now offer that as when we hire people, bringing them into the business, they can choose to work from home if they want to, or they can work within the office. The offices are fully corona proofed, but we're comfortable with people moving forward for part of the job. Even when the pandemic is gone, people can work from home. But we moved to that really quickly. We were able to do that because the tech stack that we have in place, and the solution that we work with you with, enabled us to do that really quickly, seamless.
And I think, to be fair, my guess is most people would be very comfortable that their CRM, in your case, in our case here, it's Salesforce, but whatever one they're using is cloud today. But telephony, yeah. I think I meet a lot of businesses where people's mindsets are still stuck on that equals phones on the desk, right? And then when staff go home, and as you know, I write quite a lot. I record some videos on LinkedIn, and I'm endlessly frustrated when I call businesses and the message says, we're really sorry that we're not operating on the phone anymore because our staff are at home. And I'm like, really? Come on, get with the 21st century. I mean, this technology has been around for ages. But anyway, I'm happy to hear, obviously, that. And I mean, have you seen a notable? We've got 4 minutes left. I want to ask you about the future, and maybe this is a segue to that, because everyone is online more than ever. I actually don't know whether you offer an e-commerce solution for the SMB, because you're building their website, right? So I guess tell me a little bit about that, and tell me about the future for you and Spotzer.
Yeah, no. I think there was recently a report that came out for Sage in the UK that pre-pandemic, 17% of small to medium businesses were looking to move their businesses online with an e-com solution. And yes, we 100% build a good number of e-commerce sites every month. But 17% pre-pandemic, we're looking at having a technical and digital marketing solution for their business. Throughout this current period, that's now moved to 75%. So what that tells you is that if a small business was not looking at a digital marketing solution previously, they are, 75% of them are now doing that. And of that 75% of them think that they will be investing more in the future into digital marketing tech solutions for their business. So for us, the future is incredibly bright. And it is a big shift to e-commerce. We've done that with a number of our partners. We have a number of different solutions that and products in the product stack that we work with partners on. But I think from March to August, we saw something like 180% increase in order volume in e-commerce solutions, and we help to work with our partners to go to market, to execute some offers. It might be a freemium model that then converts into paid. But it's been a time for us, having everybody work from home, but also really driving the e-com space very aggressively now. And I think that for us as a business for the future, websites is always going to be cool. Google ad campaigns, business listings, but e-commerce solutions is going to really, come a significant offer. Whereas it was probably worth about 5% of revenue previously. I think that we probably see that over the coming couple of years, that could become 30, 40% in terms of revenue.
I think I got to stop you there because we've got probably 30 seconds left, and I'm pretty sure the team will just move us on. Thank you very much for presenting, for sharing the floor, for answering the questions, talking about your fabulous business. I don't know if you can see my screen, because I didn't check this out when we were working, but there's a €200 Amazon gift card available to anyone who visits our virtual booth. That's a competition, obviously. There's your details, Peter Urmson. It's purmson@spotzer.com. My details, my name's Paul Turner, and it's paul.turner@vonage.com. Peter, best of luck. I love talking with you and learning more about your business. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Best of luck.